We're here with members of the Oberlin College swimming and diving team to preview the upcoming virtual invite that'll take place Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday here next week. So we'll start with you, Coach Alex. So just talk about how everything's been going so far with the season. Obviously, a lot going on with COVID-19, and how have you been able to manage everything so far here in the early going?
It's been challenging, but I think, the team has been really resilient and flexible, because that's what we all have to be in this environment. So, the first couple weeks were pretty tough. The same 10 people had to be working out together, 10 people or less. And so Coach Jess and I were working even more than normal, which for swim coaches is a lot, but it was all for a good cause. More numbers in the pool, I think, is more motivating. And so they see teammates, doing well in practices and competition. And that's what, I think really helps. And we were lucky to be able, with these virtual meets too, be able to get everybody, on the pool deck at the same time. Because we have 25 student athletes here on campus between our freshmen, sophomore, and senior classes. So again, it's been tough, but I think the team's done a great job so far.
Well, listen, let's jump over to you. Obviously, being a senior, talk about how this has impacted you and everything that you've had to go through. I'm sure this isn't how you envision your senior year to go.
Yeah, I think it's definitely been an adjustment, but I think I can speak on behalf of most of the team, where we're really thankful that we are one of the few sports who are able to continue competing and practicing relatively normal. That being said, it is definitely hard not to be able to hang out with most of my friends outside of just like swimming, and also with classes being mostly remote. But I think we're all making the best of it and trying to stay positive, because physical safety is definitely our top priority in this situation.
So Molly, kind of the same thing. Looking ahead now, you're going to finish up here in this first semester. So what is your goals kind of moving into that second semester and on in, to graduation? So what do you hope to achieve here before everything's all said and done with you?
Well, I guess swimming wise, I think this semester went better than I was planning on it to go, just because I think spending so much time out of the water, especially for swimmers, is really difficult to kind of jump back in and get in shape again. So I'm not, too nervous about the next semester, because I think this one went better than expected. But I just really want to have fun with it, because I think swimming can be really anxious sometimes, because you're, worried about everything. But since it's my last, semester and season doing it, probably ever, I really just want to have fun with it and enjoy the things that I'm swimming and practices, and getting to know, teammates even better, because we were kind of in, separate groups this season and this semester. So, yeah.
So we'll jump over to the new guys, Sam and Josh. We'll start with you, Sam. So coming in as a first year, and this got to be totally crazy, right? So how have you managed everything coming into college and adapting to a new world?
Times where it's everything feels really overwhelming, but I think swimming definitely helped, because it's that time where I can kind of set everything aside and just focus on just being in the water and getting back into shape and working as hard as I can in that moment. And it can be very cathartic in a way. Kind of release all that anxiety that I have during the day with COVID and remote classes. Just the kind of tense environment of the campus at times.
So Josh, talk about how you've been able to step in and be a part of this program and impact this men's team and kind of take it to the next level of where it wants to go moving forward.
Yeah, so I don't know how much y'all know or so I'm a fifth year, and I'm a transfer student, which is why I have the fifth year, but I'm also a conservatory student. It's been a minute since I've been an athlete, so it was kind of difficult and quite different, jumping into the water, and then having to kind of just start on the ball and practice with everyone that's been swimming for so much longer. So it was, I think the hardest thing is, how can you positively come into a new environment and go through, COVID, or go through not having oxygen, because that's what we do as swimmers, and then bring something positive out of that. And I think that I have a pretty enthusiastic spirit in general, which has been really quite helpful, I think, for me and maybe the people around me. I would hope to say so. And so just by kind of, let's make it to the end together kind of thing, that's been my mentality the entire time. And I've learned a lot about, how can you be a leader or just a positive energy force from behind, so not necessarily being the fastest or being the one that's going to perform the best on any given day. But what can I do and how can I do that to the best of my ability? I think that's been a good time, and it's been really nice to kind of build relationships outside of the water as well. And even like when it comes to just having a social media presence and when we comment on each other's pictures or DM everyone and stuff, it's just a lot of fun and a lot of great energy going around for everybody.
Well, I'm sure the team's glad to have you aboard for this last year for you. And so, Jess, we'll kind of jump over to you now and just kind of preview what's ahead here for the next couple of days, looking into the virtual meet. So who are we competing against? How's everything going to shape out in terms of the events, and how's everything going to look, from a logistical standpoint, which I'm sure you have a lot to deal with?
So we have decided to move up our meet to Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of this upcoming week. And we are doing Tuesday is our senior recognition. So, check out our social media for that. So we are competing with the schools in our conference. We're really fortunate. So like everybody was saying, pretty much our sport doesn't change significantly. So we're still able to have the same order of events and everything. And basically we are pushing ourselves against our teammates, which I think is great. It builds great team camaraderie. And then it also has, some individuals step up who normally, might be a little bit more apprehensive to do so. So looking forward to that and looking forward to some great competition.
Yeah, and then Alex, we'll just wrap it up with you, I guess, kind of just building off of Jess's comments. How do you, push your athletes to do their best when they look to the left and the right of them and they don't see that kid from Denison or Kenyon or Worcester? They just see their teammate.
Yeah, I mean, the way Jess and I have tried to convey it to the team is, these teams are in their own pools and they're thinking about you. Like, they're thinking about, like, you're there next to them. And swimming is a sport, and diving as well, even though it's a little more subjective with judges. It's you versus the clock at its core. And I think in our sport, some of the swimmers, alluded to it here, the kids do get a little bit of, like, competition anxiety. And I think in a way this has been kind of good because it can help some of them kind of break through that a little bit. And then hopefully down the road when things, get back to normal, at some point down the road here, they create good habits here and they can transition that into, when we get back to having pack stands and big meets and 300 plus people on a pool deck and things like that. And that's what a lot of them are working through. And, it's been challenging without the juniors being here. We really do miss them. There's a lot of new people on this team. And so, the seniors have done a fantastic job, leading the way. And we just need to use this to set us up for the future going forward. But we can't just treat this as like a stepping stone only. This is the seniors last year. We owe it to them for all their time and effort put into this program. We wouldn't be in the position we are as a team, without them. I mean, right now we have a good amount of kids that have applied early decision. This program's going to be getting stronger each and every year. And it's because of, them. They're the cornerstone we're building off of. And that's what this team needs to understand is everybody's important. Everybody needs to take ownership and being part of this team. And it's not just like, I'm not that fast, I don't matter. That's not the case. Like, every person matters on this team. And that's the big thing we're trying to drive home with everybody this year.